what is it? Having one is like having one. Having two is like having four.
Yes.
So like,
No, it's not.
No, I was like, except for Ashley.
It's not.
But you didn't know at the time.
But
So
I'm
how did
telling
that
you right
track
now, don't
then?
ever say that again.
Oh my goodness.
What's up, y'all? It's Ashley.
I'm Fee.
It's Melody.
And Codie here, and you've tapped into
The Mama's Den.
All right, y'all. Happy Mama's Den Monday.
embarrassing.
Yes, because
Mama's Den Monday. I like
yes,
that.
Mama's Den Monday.
Hi, welcome back to
Hello.
the den.
Hello, governor.
How you doing? How you doing, teeth?
Good.
We're celebrating Ashley's teeth all year long. Ow.
Take the shackles off my teeth so I could dance.
Hey, so I can eat.
I just want to smile.
And
I
eat
just
crunchy
wanna chew
things.
gum.
And eat crunchy things. Yes. Wait, okay, so we're bringing back introducing ourselves properly.
Oh, we're doing this every time.
I am Codie Elaine Oliver, mama
Jesus
of
Christ.
3 boys, Brooks, Aristotle, and Langston. Aristotle and Langston are 6-year-old twins, and Brooks is 8. And yes, we're doing it every time. We have new listeners every week.
Hello. Go.
Yeah, you.
Oh, me? My name is Ashley Chia. Ashley Serrano Cochia.
Ashley Banks.
I have 4 daughters, Amira, 15, Zara, 8, Asia, 6, Atalia, 3.
How many kids you got?
4?
Damn. If you guys need reference, just go back and listen to all the episodes.
Stop, Felicia.
All the episodes. Yes.
I'm Fee. I have 2 kids. Peace is 10, and Zen will be 6 in a month.
I'm Melanie. I have 2 kids. Cameron is 8 and Kaya is 3.
We need a group picture again with our kids, y'all.
Y'all got 3-year-olds.
No, we're not talking about
3-year-olds.
Struggle.
It's actually a wild thing. Whenever I call Ashley all the time, and I was like, we really have 3-year-olds in our 40s. Like, this is a
Girl.
I'm not in my 40s. I'm 40, but yes.
and
okay.
you're in your 40s.
No, I'm not
Welcome.
40.
Yes, you are. You're in that
I'm
group.
40.
You're
I'm not in
that
it.
You're not in your
category.
30s.
Nope, the tip is just in. The whole thing is not in there.
You're
No,
not.
if you're on a boat and it's like 30s, 40s, you are in 40s.
No, I'm just 4D.
Okay.
14.
Okay, so you're gonna be
So it's a D
you're
instead
gonna
of
be on a
S.
raft like a Rose in the ocean.
I would love that.
On
We
a
already
40.
know that.
They're going to be like, girl, I try to tell you, girls popping up
She
here.
lit.
You
Rose
know she
lit.
ain't letting nobody else on there.
It-
I know, Ashley.
Okay.
Rose is a
With the
Capricorn.
paddle.
no, I would have been like,
Yo,
"Get
I
your
did
ass
not
on
follow
the-
that reference until you went back to the Capricorn. Because I was like,
Well, she said I'm
Rose?
on a boat. I'm like, she says if they have a boat, you go in the 40s.
But
And
the
she's
way
like,
that I pictured a flower in the ocean, it just
be
took
like,
me a
no.
while. It took me a while. Leave me alone. Hold on.
What kind of flower?
What
She
is
said a
happening?
rose
I
in
said
the
rose.
ocean.
Girl, bye. What's the question?
Okay,
Of the day?
it's not simply a question, right? So remember when we were on
Since
IG?
Ashley's trying to make me geriatric by myself.
No, Cody over there with you.
Not with a 3-year-old.
Not with a 3-year-old.
Oh,
So
you're
we
young, though.
we had hit up our social media audience and we were like, what y'all want us to talk about? And this was an interesting question that we have not tackled in a while. And that was like, what did she say? D Jacobs 14 asked us, how did it feel becoming a mom for the second child or for 2 and 3 at the same time? So let's like run it back.
Stressful.
Y'all got,
It felt stressful as heck. I'm going to jump right into it.
go to it.
I
Get
was just
into it,
telling
girl.
someone yesterday. I was just
Why did I
telling
cackle
one
like that?
of my girlfriends is pregnant with her second child, and she's a stay-at-home mom, and it's so cute. And I was like, look, I don't really be telling people mommy advice. I was like, but you gonna need help, sis. So I'm just letting you know it's
Yeah.
not easy. It was a big challenge for me personally.
Was it intentional
Gosh,
for any
4
of y'all?
years.
Okay.
4 years. Was it intentional for any of y'all? Like, I'm ready for the second?
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was ready to go.
Me too.
Nope.
Yeah, I got pregnant with Juju on my sister's birthday. She had gave me sympathy, sad sex. and
Juju on it.
made my daughter.
Juju want to be.
Juju
want to be day.
Juju on the BB day.
Juju on it.
Wowza.
We were trying. I actually had to have a surgery in order to have her. Like I had to get in DNC because I wasn't ovulating for a year.
A DNC.
This is very much news to me.
No, never. I mean, I don't think. I don't know. I've told y'all this before. No.
No, ma'am.
I thought
You
I
sound
did.
like me right
You
now.
know the way she just smooth throws in like,
You
oh,
were
remember that time I got carjacked? What?
Right.
Kidnapped? What?
It's so, my life is layered. It's too much to talk about. No, we knew I wanted another baby. when
Paint the
Amira-
picture. Amira's how old?
Okay, so Amira was 6. We had just gotten married, and I had Amira when I was 24, and I was like, I want another baby like now. I wanted my kids to be like 2 years apart, like me and my sister. And Chia was like, no, I don't want another baby, and he just made us use condoms, and it was crazy. I was like, oh my God, what? And then we did for like our whole relationship, even when we were married. I don't know if people know that, but married people use condoms. And no, he wasn't cheating on me. We just didn't want to have a baby, and I wasn't using birth control. So that's.
She's really painting the picture.
I mean, because I think all of this matters, and people should talk about that more. You know what I mean? Like
Using condoms when you're
married. Yeah, because people are like, why did you? I mean, it does take away the joy, but I was not getting on birth control. So that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
only.
Yeah, if you're
and
not trying to get
Chia
pregnant.
does not pull
Yeah,
out well.
no,
He did
that's
4
fair.
times. I have 4 kids, so that's not his ministry. So when I wanted to, I was like, we can try. I was like, well, I'm gonna be 30, so we need to get pregnant and we're getting married. And so as soon as we got married, we tried. And then I wasn't getting pregnant. And I was like, I know I could get pregnant. And then I went to the doctor and she was like, you haven't ovulated for a year. And it was causing, like when you have your period and the eggs fall out. So they were just like clogging in my fallopian tube and in my uterus. And I was having like all these weird things happen to me. I also had a miscarriage when I first moved here. We were like moving into our apartment. It was the week we moved into our apartment, and I just was like, fell to the ground, went to the doctor, was bleeding. He was like, oh, baby, you had a miscarriage. I was like,
you didn't know you were pregnant?
No.
Oh my
and I didn't
gosh.
care. And so then I kept
At the time.
I didn't care at the time. I didn't care. And
Right,
so I wasn't trying to be pregnant at that moment. And I just was like, well, that's unfortunate, and went on with my day. And then when we got married, I really wanted to have a baby, and then I wasn't getting pregnant. So then I'd have a DNC, and they had to like scrape all the, like it was clogged, like
residual.
my uterus was just clogged, like nothing was getting through, nothing, fallopian tubes, everything. So they went in there and they cleared out my tubes, and he was like, listen, usually if you don't have like, he was like, I can figure out why you're not ovulating. He was like, you're probably gonna get pregnant right away. I literally got pregnant the next month. But that app was not accurate. So the days that we were trying, I didn't get pregnant. And then we only had sex one time in December, and it was on my sister's birthday. I was used to get really depressed, and I just didn't want to be touched or nothing. And so we had sex that day, and that was it. And that's when I got pregnant. So she was planned. Like we were trying to have her. It just happened on the day that my app said I wasn't ovulating, but I actually was. It was weird. But yeah, definitely planned her.
What about you, Codie? Because you got two for the price of one.
Totally planned.
And they split.
Right. Okay. Ashley just learned how identical twins are made. And in my defense, or her defense, I learned when I found out that I was pregnant with identical twins. So,
Very insane.
So very much planned in terms of I was ready for a second child. Brooks was, or at least I knew that I wanted to have them about 2 years apart. So right now I'm just struggling on math, but, at whatever time that was,
At least
I was
you're
like,
pretty.
okay, it's time to get it popping, right? So we were, I would say trying, but not like trying hard. We were just like not using protection and having sex. And so I find out that I'm pregnant, and like with a home test, and yay, right? And I remember it was like a very stressful time, and me and one of my friends were like so sure it was a girl because like it was just different. I know, right?
Wives' tales.
Crazy.
Why is it called wives'
Why do we
tales?
do that to
Myths.
ourselves?
We don't know.
So fast
Them old
forward
heads.
to when I will tell the short story because it's cute. So I don't remember all the exact weeks and stuff, but I went back to my doula midwife from Brooks, and I was like, hey, I'm pregnant. Like, let's go. And she was like, well, have you been to the doctor? I was like, no. She said, we need to go to the doctor before like 11 weeks. Look this up. Please do not trust me. Before like 11 weeks. Also, shout out to Kim Durden. Because after that point, babies grow at the same rate. So meaning like week to week. So genetics, she explains it way better than me. But basically, there's a point at which you won't exactly know the due date with as much certainty because genetics take over. And so you might have a bigger baby that they're like, oh, this baby is 5 months along or whatever. But so she was like, you have to go in this window. It was very late is my point. And so we go get the first ultrasound, and the doctor is like, it's twins. And I as anyone has seen from the videos that we've shared, I giggled and cried for 2 weeks, cried happy tears. And at some point, and I assumed or like hoped that it was like a girl and a boy or maybe two girls or whatever. So when they called me and they were like, they're identical, or no, they were like, it's boys. I was like, oh, okay, cool. They're like, they're identical. And I was like, how does that happen?
How does that happen?
So what happens?
I never even thought
In my
about
uterus.
this.
So there is a tiny window of time where a sperm and an egg become an embryo, and that one embryo can split into two.
That is wild.
So it's not two eggs, it's not two sperm. It's one sperm, one egg, one embryo is created.
You didn't know this?
And in
Wow,
a
this is
Bro,
so
no, I
magical.
always thought that it just was like two eggs at the exact same time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
So
I knew this.
I did not. But this splitting in half for me is I cannot.
Yes.
I'm gonna need it some years.
But the window is like very small when this can
That's
happen.
so magical.
And so that's why I've
Yes.
always like, they're
It's
my little
like
miracles
a
because it is a
duplicate?
miracle.
I thought it was God was like, you gonna get they look alike. You gonna get this. I don't know what it was. Girl, I was over here.
You get a twin. You get a twin. You get a twin.
But like it's like the person
Wow.
just says, "Bloop,
They
there's
have the
another me."
same.
Yes.
Wait,
That's
I don't
weird.
want to say it wrong, but they have the same DNA.
And them twins are twins.
They have the same DNA.
Yeah,
So
so when they
like
have
when one of
kids-
them has a kid, they will have the same DNA
Yes,
as their
as their-
nephew.
I
and
knew
their
that
nephew
from
or-
T
and their
Tamara
uncle.
Mara
Yes.
When they're
I watched their
identical?
show.
Yes.
Yes. So if they
Yes.
have kids, technically when you're identical, you know how like T and Tamara, their children
God.
are really like, they're their niece kids.
By biology, yes.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my
So
God.
like it's like they had a baby with their sister's, like it's crazy. They have the
What?
exact same DNA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Wild.
crazy? It's
That's
really
very
wild.
cool.
So I call them my little miracles, and they are. But I
They are.
say all of this to say that I went from one child to 3.
That's ghetto.
And as excited as I was because I always wanted twins, you know, there was some preparation required.
You've always wanted twins?
Always.
Well, we got,
I was
can
going to
you
name
tell
them
God you
Mariah and
want-
Shania.
Mariah, 2 favorite singers. Mariah.
That's why
and
God
Shania.
didn't give you them girls.
God said, don't do
Tommy
that.
would have said no, actually.
You're named after brilliant writers and
wait,
poets.
real quick. What would Tommy have named his daughters? Some science.
We had always planned for Zoe Elaine Oliver.
Oh, that's
We
cute.
just never had a
Cute.
girl.
Super
Like Codie
cute.
and Zoe. It's cute.
Oh,
Super
Zoe,
cute.
she's in there somewhere.
That face. That transformation. She said,
Oh, she right in there with my
Yeah.
little Khalil that ain't never came out. That's what I was gonna name my son if I had one.
Khalil
That's
Chia.
cute.
I love that for us.
Yeah. Well, maybe our grandkids.
it's the
Well, yeah.
perfect
So I went
perfect
from 1 to 3.
black Cambodian baby.
Khalil.
Khalil Chia.
Right. A little Arabic.
I really love it.
It would have been so cute. In my mind, he was gonna be dark skinned with little Asian eyes. Ah! He didn't come out.
Hilarious.
Okay,
So,
wait.
yeah.
What about you?
No, the answer was no. I answered that question. I was not prepared. I was not trying to have a second baby.
Oh.
I was definitely team 1 and done.
How, okay, not to get in your business, but how are you keeping yourself
Well,
from having a
period.
baby?
Literally, we were timing
Oh.
You were tying?
the months.
Oh, that didn't work.
It did for the only 2 times I've ever been pregnant in my life.
Wait. You were timing the months to not get pregnant.
It's using ovulation calendars and timing to not have babies. Yes.
Yeah, but it didn't work because you had another baby.
It did. Now I will tell you this: the second baby was the second baby is really a miracle baby. She really is a miracle baby. Like with Cameron, I knew what was going down.
Oh, okay.
We knew it was going. But we knew we're like,
open
hey,
to
if it's
it.
gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
We
That probably
were
happened last
actively
night.
trying, right?
But you weren't
Yeah.
avoiding it.
But we weren't avoiding it.
Got it.
But Kaya, that girl is really a miracle baby because it's funny because we were at our friend's house and our friend was asking about us having another child and Cam was 5 at the time. So we were like, nah, we straight 5. We're in the clear. You know,
5.
we're good. We're not going back into the throes of newborn nothing. And she asked us, she's like, well, what are you doing? And we're like, oh, we're using this one. It's been working thus far. That night, and by the way, that calendar, when I tell you I looked at that calendar, I was not ovulating. I promise you.
See, I
No,
don't
that's
always
what-
trust those things.
That's what
though.
happened with
I
Juju.
feel
The
you,
app
girl.
don't be right all the
Guys,
time.
correct, because you're humans.
Oh.
And it's a computer.
I will
Well, the
say,
computers
I will
are
say,
driving us. We can't trust it for.
I will
Shit.
say this. It was the last day of my period. This is why scientifically I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So it was the last day of my period. So that's why I was
y'all
like, wait a
freaky.
second. Okay. No. You know, the last day of the period isn't a real day. Get
The
out
last
Can you
day.
get out of my bed?
last
Can you get out of my vagina and cervix right now,
I
Ashley?
want to be in your vagina so
Supposed to be in
bad.
my sheets. She's like, what did they look like? Get out.
Oh gosh, she's so. Oh
I do. I want to watch.
But I'm telling you, it was the last day of my period. That's
so
why I was like, oh no. When I found out I was pregnant, because Ashley was saying, oh, we're trying for our 4th. And I was like, really?
Where'd they do that at?
Where'd they do that? Okay,
No,
girl.
let me just to be clear, Ashley at that time was also like, should we try for a 4th?
But was definitely trying
And I
for
was
a 4th.
like,
it was the
No, I don't think
pandemic.
so.
We was bored.
And I remember.
So you want another kid?
I remember vividly during the pandemic, before you guys started trying, Ashley was like, don't you want to have another baby? And I was like, no. And she's like, come on, Cam is so great. He needs a sibling. I was like, he can borrow
No,
yours.
I said he
can
needs a
borrow
sister.
yours.
I
No,
always
you said
he-
sibling.
I said sister.
You said sibling.
I knew it was a girl.
I never thought I was going to have a girl.
I
Let's be
did.
clear.
I
You
told
put
you.
that on me. So then
I'm a witch.
I literally, man, I only missed my period twice in my life, and both times I've been pregnant.
Same.
Only time. My period is like on time. She arrives. So when my period didn't show up, I immediately was like, oh my God. And Ashley called me, and this is when I thought there was like an inkling that I might be pregnant, but I didn't take a test. I didn't even tell Jared yet. And Ashley called me. She's like, guess what? She's like, we're 2 days pregnant. And I was like, congratulations. And I was like, I knew it. When she called me and said she was pregnant, I was like, I'm going to be pregnant. And I was like, do I tell her that I think I might be pregnant? I was like, nope, hold it together.
Because she would pray on it.
She made it happen.
She did.
And then I remember it was a Saturday afternoon. And I remember Jared and I were going to Home Depot. And I was like, we need to stop at CVS and I need to pick up a test. And he's like, really? And I was like, yeah, my period still has not shown up. And he's like, okay.
So exciting.
And I remember I went to the CVS. I got the test. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to go do this now. And I went in the bathroom and I looked at it.
You did it at the CVS?
No, at home. I came back home and I did it and I looked at it and I bawled. I bawled.
Yeah.
I cried. I was not prepared to have another baby. And we had just coming out the pandemic. It was 2021, right? I just found out I was pregnant. It was April. And I was totally prepared to get back to the world, you know, touring, singing live, being out in the world. Like my whole career was shut down. So I was like ready to get back out. And then I found out I was pregnant. And then I was like, oh,
Kaya said,
what is about to happen? No,
Sit your ass down.
She really did. And she's been saying that to me her whole life. Earthside as well. But I remember the thing that happened is I came out, I told Jared, and you know, we had this moment, and then I got quiet. I just needed to go process, and I was like, give me some space. And I pulled out that What to Expect When Expecting app, and it said that her birthday was supposed to be January 1st. And I looked at it, and then I paused, and I was like, hold on a second. I was like, January 1st, I was like, it's the first day of a new year. It's a new chapter. We just moved into our home. We had just gotten married. Like all of these wonderful things that happened for us. And the pandemic, like things were still like up. And I was like, you know what? I was like, this is totally meant to be. Aww. Like this child was totally just here waiting for us and just, and all of these things. I was like, what a better time. Like, what else could I have asked for? We have a home. We have space to provide. We're in a committed relationship. Our lives are beautiful. Like we've survived a pandemic. You know, our son is 5. He's a little older. Like I started to look at the, not the inconvenience of what a child would bring at that time. Cause like I said, I wasn't prepared to have another one, but the joy and the security of what was presented to me. So that made me go into that pregnancy being like, oh, yeah, you can do this. And I didn't feel that the first time too. And I've shared that on this podcast with my first son, like with Cameron. Like, even though we weren't not trying, I didn't have a support system around. And I say, like, I really feel like the Mama's Den manifested my daughter because God was like, oh, you're going to do this. And you're going to have community. You're going to have support this time. So, you know, that was through the pregnancy. But then having 2 children is just chaotic. So
that's what I was going to say. I feel like most people are afraid of / we often talk about like having the second child. What is it? Having one is like having 1, having 2 is like having 4.
Yes.
So like
no, it's not.
No, I was like, except for Ashley.
It's not.
But you didn't know at the time.
But
So
I'm
how
telling
did
you
that
right
track
now, don't
then?
ever say that shit again.
Oh my goodness. Bleep all that
Having
out.
4
wouldn't
is
know,
like
Ashley.
having 4 motherfucking kids.
I wouldn't know.
Well, I'm telling you, and now you do.
Never
you got
had
3
2
kids.
or
You
4.
got 2.
I've never had 2 or 4.
Well, you don't got 4 when I do.
Okay, so having 2, how did that impact y'all?
Yeah, talk about it with your 2 kids.
How did that change like your sanity?
Yeah, it was a lot. It was just overwhelming. But then also, me and their father separated when Zim was 6 months.
Oh, that's
so
hard.
that was like a
Yeah,
whole
girl.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
That's a lot.
It was stressful. It was stressful. We don't want to go back there. It was hard. That's all you need to know. Moving on. Next question. Next question.
No, I mean I respect that. My third was a surprise. My first and third were a surprise. The second and fourth were planned. So I'll cry when I found out I was pregnant with Asia because Zara was 1. And I literally was like, sat on the couch. I'll never forget because I looked at Chi. I was like, do we have to keep it? Like, is that I did.
So, no, it just caught me off guard when you said it. But
It caught him off
It's a
guard
fair
too.
question.
Caught me off guard too because I was like, why am I pregnant? And I was breastfeeding and I did not have a period. So I didn't even know that you could get pregnant without a period. I didn't know you can ovulate without blood coming out of your
Wait, say it
vagina.
again. You didn't know.
You can ovulate without blood coming out of your
It's a
vagina.
very educational
Just
episode.
like if you're in perimenopause, you can get pregnant.
Yes.
Oh, like when people say
sorry.
So
you
you
can't
know-
get pregnant
Oh,
when
yeah,
you're
in
period?
perimenopause.
Yes,
you still,
that's
yeah.
Yeah, that's not true.
Well, I
Yeah.
didn't know, and I do now. It's an old wives' tale. So I'm like, I'm breastfeeding. It's fine. And we was just.
Speaking of you saying you needed space, it was with Kaya. You said that's what happened with Peace. I just had a feeling that I was pregnant, and we were not trying. But I was also not being. We were not being safe. But I remember we just came back from yoga, and I was like, something is not right. Something doesn't feel right. And then I got the little test, and then we sat on the bed, and then we both look, and we both look at each other like this.
Oh no.
We were like, because I don't know why we still felt like we were kids. I mean, we kind of were 21,
Yeah.
no, 22.
That's a kid.
Yeah, we were like kids.
That's young.
And then the very next day, I had a flight to go to Hawaii to go visit my dad. And so I was like, I need a couple days. I got to go. I was like, I'm still taking my flight. But when I went to get tested at the doctor was like, what are you going to do? I was like, I don't know. But all I know is that I need to leave and I need to go right now. And she's like, well, wait. I'm like, no. I don't want to talk to you.
I gotta go to Hawaii.
Yeah, I was
Bye.
like, I don't know. I can't talk to you. You're not going to convince me of anything.
Yeah.
Bye. But yeah.
But then you went to Hawaii and you named your baby Zen, and look, you like being in
Peace.
nature.
No, that was
Oh,
Peace.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was
This is
Zen.
pre-Peace.
Oh.
No, but we had picked out Peace's name. Well, their father picked out Peace's name way before we were dating, and he was like, if I ever have a daughter, I want her name to be Peace.
Aww.
And I was like, oh, that's cute. And then we found out it was a girl, and I was like, do you still want to name her Peace? And he was like, yeah, that would be cool. So when they're doing like roll or whatever, and they say Peace, and she can just raise her hand like this, and I was like, that's really cute.
Oh, he
That
really
is
thought
cute.
about that.
Oh, he thought it
artist.
That is so cute.
A creative.
I love it.
No, the
Girl.
chaos of two children, which is what I'm going to, bring it back to, to me, the biggest thing that I am experiencing, especially now, 3, 8, like, these two, I have to be two different parents. And that was something I didn't think of when having a second child. The first child, you get to this place where you're like, oh, I know who I am as a parent. I know what I'm doing. Okay, cool. And then the second person comes along and they're like, no, the fuck you don't.
No, you don't.
Get ready, sis. You need a whole new set of special skills.
Gotcha.
I have a certain, what is it? I have a special set of skills. Shout out to Liam Neeson. I really, that is, I think, the biggest challenge. The noise factor is a challenge.
What you mean, like making noises?
There's more noise in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's more voices in the house. And my daughter's ability to scream is something I was not prepared for, even though she is a child of singers. It's very alarming. But I will say that's my biggest thing, is that realizing that I had to become two different parents to my children. And obviously, Ashley, I'm sure you can understand this. When you have 4 different personalities, you have to be 4 different parents because they all need different things.
Girl,
like
I
you have
gotta
your
be
morals, you have your
6
like
people. I gotta be me for me, a
your
wife for
wife?
Chia,
I've
this
said
mama,
this.
this mama, this mama, this mama. Yeah. I don't even know. That's why I'm like all the time. You're like, what's happening?
It's
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of it's a lot of personality management.
Well, I think too, also logistically, right? It's personality management, but it's also like this kind of car seat for the big one, this kind of
my
car
God.
seat for the little
Girl.
one. How are you carrying this one? And how are you
Traveling.
getting from point
I
A
feel
to point B?
triggered.
Traveling.
Like to me,
Traveling, they make them planes in 3 seats in coach.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
we always do.
3 seats.
taking up 2
now you got
rows.
4, now you got to split up the fam. Like what? Like
And I got the nerve
yeah.
to want another one.
Oh, do it.
that's
Oh, I'm gonna do
But
it.
you know
be a
what? At
family
that
of 6.
point,
I'm gonna do it. And Peace could watch.
There you go.
It's all
Yeah.
figured out.
Yeah.
Girl, exactly. You got 2 kids that can help out at that point.
If your kid, that's what I was gonna say. Your kid, if there's nothing, I always say people should only have 2 kids. I still stand by that. But if you are starting over and your children are a little bit older, it's fine. But just
I
keep,
feel like too.
but keep in mind, it's still hard because I'm going through, like she said, you have to be 2 different, for however many kids you are, that's how many moms you are. You know what I mean? But I'm going through 15-year-old feelings all the way down to a 3-year-old. And I'm constantly changing my tone and my voice and my da-da-da-da-da. And it is very draining. It is draining. Maybe you shouldn't have another kid. I don't know. Do
I'm
what you
having
want. It's your
another
body,
kid,
your
girl. You
rules.
better.
the amount of times that I'll
Okay.
say to like another adult,
Not right now,
like
though.
in the office, yes, baby, because
Yeah.
I'm all day just like, yes, baby.
baby.
Okay, my love. Like
Yes.
literally. And I'll say it to somebody who's fully grown, who I work with.
This is inappropriate.
And I'll be I mean, sorry. I just
Yes, baby.
Well, that's sweet, though, that's your natural disposition. Because I'm like, what? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
it's my first
Definitely.
line of
Same,
defense.
Ash.
When I have my brain together, that is my first line of defense because
Yeah.
that's
To be soft.
trying to bring it
Yeah.
down.
Not mine.
Oh, my God.
Mine is aggressive.
Wait.
Mine is sit your
Aggressive.
ass down.
Speak of
I
that,
really
but
do.
how did you prep Cameron to
Yes.
become a big brother? And then also your
So
aggressive tone.
I've shared this in previous episodes. My son also is a manifester, and he created his sister for sure. He has said things like, I knew my sister. She was the seed behind me in your belly. Like he says these things. He came to me before we told him I was
the seed.
Yes. He came to me and told me, he was like, I need a baby girl. Where do I get a baby girl from? And I was like, what? I was like, you need to go ask your dad. He has been calling his sister from the beginning. So when we told him that he was going to be a brother, like a big brother, like he was very excited. And it's interesting because he now is all of a sudden on some like, I want a baby brother. And I'm like, what?
Are you
like,
pregnant?
No.
You sure?
I am
crazy.
1,000% sure.
You ain't been doing it on the last day of your period, have you?
Nope.
That's hilarious.
We are 1,000% sure. We have taken medical procedure methods and precautions to make sure that
top tier
Yes,
men.
you can.
Talk to your men.
No, I said top tier men.
Oh,
remember?
top tier. Yes.
Yeah, but
top
you can
tier.
still get pregnant when somebody's had a vasectomy.
That's true,
No,
but not here.
That is extremely uncommon.
Well, her
It is,
life
like,
is uncommon. So
literally
if
the
you
point.
if I was you, I'd be
I
careful.
rebuke that statement.
Yeah, she
Witch.
over here
Wait,
tripping.
can I say though, tips that I got from our doctor, tips that I got from our doctor when going from 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 was to still prioritize the oldest.
Yes.
Right? Because the baby's not going to know if you're
Yeah.
like her example was, you know, if you're having dinner, like ask your older child like to come have dinner with you and just be
Yes.
like, we'll feed the baby later
Yeah.
That's
or
crazy.
No, it doesn't mean
Yeah,
you don't
just
feed your
throw the
child when
baby
they're
over
hungry.
there.
But it means telling them. It means articulating to your older child who understands
Yeah.
and cares
I'm kidding.
that that they are a priority, right?
Yeah.
Because the baby can't hear you.
That's
know, so
kinda
like,
hard to do.
Some dad can do it or whatever, but like
Yeah.
being really intentional and thoughtful about that. I know you're laughing, but I really am trying to get that point out
I'm
because
just, it's funny, but it's
I
not.
think it is. I think it's valuable. I think
Yes.
that like that kid or kids need to know that like they still matter.
Yeah.
Because what happens is when you have a baby, you yourself, your partner, your friends and family, everybody's going, "How's the baby? How's the baby? How's
Yeah.
the baby? Let me hold the baby."
Wait, I have a question for you then. How do you? Because you have twins.
Yes.
So like even carrying that into their, because you kind of have to keep that
He
mentality.
had to share his shine with two people. not
What I
just
was
one.
going to say,
Yeah.
how do you even now like make each child feel important when you have 20 twins? You know what I mean? Because it's
yes.
like, I'm
It's
sure they're
not
always
easy.
together.
No, they are
It's
always
not
together.
easy.
I try to have one-on-one time with them. That's kind of the only way.
Okay.
And I try to like affirm them like vocally. You know what I mean? Just if they're talking to me and I do not care, then it's like that is beautiful. Thank you. You know what I mean? Like I just whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But wait, one more tip that we were able to do. Everybody's not able to do this. We named Aristotle and Langston when they were still in my belly, so we were able to like refer to them first as these are your brothers. Like we gave him ownership over them.
yeah.
Then we were able to be like Aristotle and Langston, so he would be like, "These are my brothers." Aristotle like in the womb.
Oh my God, so
So
beautiful.
like by the
That's
time they
right.
came, they were ours. It wasn't like these are these two people
Yeah.
taking up
Yeah.
space in your house.
That is a very, 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 very good tip. That is something that I did too. No,
Damn,
it's
I'ma spill
important
this
to be
coffee.
like this is your sibling coming
Yes.
and we're
Yeah.
excited, and when you have the baby, bringing them into the hospital and letting them hold the baby and like not being, sometimes we're like, oh, don't touch the baby.
Yeah.
Like being, just teaching them to be gentle. You know how people are like,
Yeah,
"Girl,
but
baby."
watching you die.
Yeah, no, I just be like, all right, well, just don't rock them too hard now, child. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you don't want, if you create that disconnect, they start to feel like it's like you and the baby against them.
Yes.
And it's weird.
Yes.
You know, my children were like breastfeeding their dogs. So whenever I would breastfeed a baby, they would all just get out and breastfeed their dog and just be sitting in a line on the
That's how peace was.
Yeah, but it's
She'll wrap
sweet.
the little. She'd
Yeah.
be like, "Can you do it around me?" I'm like, "Yeah, girl."
It's like
Yeah.
letting them be
but wait,
involved
now
without
what I'm-
making them feel like they're responsible.
Yes.
But now when I'm thinking about it, what do people say outside of being like, "This is your brother or sister"?
What do you mean?
Mommy's having a baby.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I was like, wait, what is
Oh,
it?
I'm pregnant.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
my oh, look at like that type of talk.
I'm always
or
like, "It's your brother."
yeah, or I
girl."
can't wait for the baby
Yeah.
to come, or we can't. You know what I mean? Instead of
Yeah.
being like our baby and this, and telling them to talk to the belly and
It's interesting.
I love like reminiscing in that way because those were many years ago. Well, for some of us.
Well, that's crazy.
No, because I'm still in the throes
Me too,
of
girl.
toddlership. This is insane. But I will say this too, with the two kids, and I'll say this: if there's one thing I could say, is you really have to consider your lifestyle and what type of lifestyle you want to have with your children.
Yeah.
I knew that I wanted to have uninterrupted time with my son. And so even before having a second child, I was very grateful that I had 5 years with him to pour into him, to get to know him, to prioritize him, to have that undisturbed, undistracted time for just him, me being his mom. I will also say that that has been very helpful with them being 6 years apart in the logistics of life, as far as Kaya is small, so she just gets tagged along to come to take him to karate. We go to his basketball games. He gets a focused time. Now that will change when she starts getting her own social life and all of that. But I feel like my son will also be older at that time, and so he'll have a little bit more independence. There's not as so much codependence on us as he can start to like go things, and you develop relationships with other parents, and they'll pick your kids up and help.
So necessary.
So necessary to have help, like with tribe and people that you trust your children with. That is very important, I think, for managing it, because you can't be in all the places at all the times. Like somebody is going to have to go to the basketball game, somebody's going to have to go to the karate match, somebody's going to have to go to the ballet or the swim meet, like whatever it is. So sometimes if you have a partner, you have to really think about what you want it to look like for you and what you can absolutely manage. So, you can't be in all the places at once. So right now we're just in a phase of doing the best we can and scheduling. Like I officially have a calendar on the fridge now. It has activities. It's got these people. These people have lives, and we have to manage it. And that's what having 2 children is, managing people.
That is wild. Yeah. All right, y'all. We do not have a listener letter today, and that is okay. Thank you for going down memory lane.
You welcome.
Yeah. Okay, don't have no more babies, y'all, because then we gotta talk about that all over again.
Yeah, I can't. After 2, I have nothing to offer here, guys. So then I'll miss that episode.
All right. Remember, family, if you have questions for us, email us at podcast@blacklove.com, or you can hit us on Instagram at the Mama Sin Podcast. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.